Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga with Dasha from Russia. I'm Dasha, and today I want to address one of the most neglected poses, Chaturanga Dandasana. So Chaturanga Dandasana is an advanced pose which requires a lot of strength, control and coordination in the upper body to perform it. Nevertheless, we see this pose in all Vinyasa and Ashtanga classes, sometimes performed up to 30 times in a class, and most of the times performed poorly, which increases drastically the possibility of the shoulder injury or shoulder impingement. So today I want to give you some tips on how to align and how to perform your Chaturanga in a safer way. Well, so let's start with some anatomy first. Shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint between scapula or your shoulder blade and humerus or your shoulder bone. It is one of the most mobile joints in our body with wide range of movement, but at cost of its inherent instability. That's why this joint requires a great deal of coordinated dynamic and static support to stay healthy. And the muscles that surround this joint play the key role in stabilizing the humerus and the joint capsule. Muscles that stabilize the shoulder joint, first of all, are the rotator cuff muscles, and their tone acts to anchor the humerus head into the glenoid cavity or holds your upper arm in place in the shoulder socket. Other dynamic stabilizers include teres major, rhomboids, serratus anterior, trapezius, and levator scapula. They all are attached to your shoulder blade, and dynamic stabilization of scapula in all shoulder movements is necessary for optimal functioning of the shoulder joint. Weakness or improper use of these stabilizers can result in abnormal stress to the anterior or front capsular structures of the shoulder and the increased possibility of different injuries. Okay, so according to what we've just learned, it is obvious that to perform safe Chaturanga, to protect our anterior parts of our shoulder joints, we will have to learn how to support this movement with our muscles, with our shoulder girdle muscles. So what is Chaturanga? Chaturanga Dandasana is a 4 limbs stick pose. So stick pose, which means the body should be straight as a stick in this pose. So what we should remember is that Chaturanga is a whole body pose, which means that all muscles of the body will be included, and we should activate all of these muscles. So the legs are active, the core muscles are active, the abs, the glutes, the back muscles, the superficial, the deep back muscles, shoulders, arms, the whole body. And today I want to address this, and we will learn how to position our shoulders in a better way in Chaturanga. So let's start with just feeling the muscles around the shoulder blades. So what we're doing, we bring our forearms, our elbows in line with our shoulders, and our forearms parallel to the floor. So imagine that you put them on 2 high tables. So they are resting on the table. So then what we will do, we will focus on our shoulder blades. And we'll gently depress the shoulder blades. So we'll feel how the shoulder blades slowly slide down, the shoulders are going down, and you will feel the neck more relaxed, and there is more space in between your ears and your shoulders. So just let it go down. Okay. Then imagine that someone starts to pull you through your elbows to the opposite sides. So just, or maybe like you sit in the door frame and you start to push two sides of the door frame outside. So this movement already you should feel how the muscles start to firm on your back and around your shoulder blades. Then what we will do, we will slowly roll our forearms up. And again, try to do it slowly to feel what's going on with the shoulder blade. So the inferior or the down part of your shoulder blade, you should feel how it presses down into your rib cage. So it's like presses and is getting glued into your back ribs. But when you start to take your forearms up, make sure that you're not doing it with your chest. So you're not opening the chest. At the same time, when you're taking your forearms up, your shoulder blade will push into your back. You take your ribs a little bit down and in. So like everything to the center, to the midline. Okay? So once again, elbows on the table, elbows wide, shoulders down, neck relaxed. Inhale, and start to take your forearms up, rotating your shoulder bone externally, and feel the shoulder blades pressed into your back. So remember this feeling. Engage slightly your belly to take the ribs in, and then relax your arms, and we'll try to recreate this feeling in our Chaturanga arms. So let's take the arms now forward. Let's bend the elbows. Let's just see what happens. So we'll bend the elbows and take our fingers towards our shoulders. So now feel what's happening in the shoulder with the shoulder blades. They are winging out of your back, right? You don't feel them really. You don't feel that you control them. So now what we'll do, we'll try to recreate the same engagement of the muscles. So we'll first press the hands forward as if there was a wall. Okay, while you're doing this, you already feel the shoulder blades starting to press into your back ribs. That serratus anterior starts to work. Then slowly start to draw your upper arms to the ribs. So slowly bending the elbows and drawing your elbows down. Trying to control your shoulder blade on your back. Again, instead of doing just this, well, press the shoulder blade down into your ribs, and then controlling this pressure, well, slowly draw the upper arms to the ribs. So you see where my fingers, where my hands go. They're not going towards the shoulder. I keep this 90 degrees angle, so that's what we want to do on the floor. The same shape. Next step. Let's stand on into the tabletop. Step our hands a little bit more forward. Then we'll shift the weight forward without arching the lower back. So we'll pull the belly in, engage our lower belly. Draw the tailbone down towards the heels. And then first of all, we'll start to rotate upper arms out, shoulders out. Then we'll press the floor away with our hands, feeling the shoulder blades getting glued into the back ribs. And then shifting the weight more forward, we'll start to bend the elbows. But again, we're bending them only until the point where we start to feel that something is happening in the back. The shoulders are going up or our shoulders rolling forward. When we lose the control of the shoulder blade. So maybe you will go just until here. That's fine. You don't have to go all the way down. What we want to do here is to gain control and the feeling of the shoulder blades. Okay, the next step that we can do, we can take blocks. So we can take blocks, we can take 3 blocks if you have. We can take 1 block, you will see later. So we'll take 2 blocks under the shoulders and 1 block under the hips. Or, yeah. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the position of Chaturanga and we'll support our shoulders on the blocks. We'll support our pelvis on the block as well. And then we'll take hands by the lower ribs. So again, our shoulder and forearm create a 90 degrees angle. Then we'll pull our belly in, maybe draw the pubic bone slightly up. So you feel that your belly engages, you feel that your glutes engage, you feel that your legs engage, you engage them really, they are really tight. You press your heels back, you press your back of the knees up. And then what you want to do, you don't want to support all your weight on the blocks. You want to take some weight off the block. So start to roll your shoulders up and you will feel how they are like lifting off the blocks. Then lower down. Again, roll the shoulders up, feel the shoulder blades start to press into your back ribs and lower down. Right, you can also do it from plank. Take a nice strong plank, then shift forward and start slowly bending your elbows, lowering all the way down until your shoulders and your pelvis touch the blocks at the same time. And then the opposite way. So you start to press the weight up, but not taking the shoulders or pressing the shoulders into the blocks. No, you roll them off the blocks. You pull the ribs in, pull the belly in, engage the glutes and legs, and you start to press yourself slowly up. Then you can take 2 blocks away and do the same with 1 block under your pelvis. So you just take your pelvis down onto the block and hands by the lower ribs. Roll the shoulders again, but here make sure that you're not rounding or arching your lower back. It's quite easy here. So you should really control the position of a stick, of a Dandasana, right? So the same, press your feet into the floor, press your hands into the floor, pull the belly in, and feel what's going on with the shoulders. So to try not to roll the shoulders forward, but back and like up and back to open. So this is with the help of the blocks. And then you can start doing it or try doing it without the blocks. But in the beginning, during your vinyasa classes, if you feel that you don't have enough strength yet, so just don't do the full Chaturanga like this. Do it with your knees, it's completely fine, but you will have more control over this movement. So on the knees, once again, you push the floor away, you roll your upper arms out, shift the weight forward, pull the belly in, lengthen through the spine, through the crown forward, through the tailbone back, and slowly start bending the elbows. Lower without opening the chest, without rounding the shoulders, without going down. With a lot of control, you lower down, you press up. Then you do the same on the feet. So you extend the legs, you press your heels back as if there was a wall, you press your back of the knees up. And again, belly in, your lower ribs in, you're trying to push them together so it's like a nice tight wall that will support your lower back. You engage your glutes, you lengthen through the tailbone back, through the crown forward again, roll the upper arms out, shift the weight forward, and slowly start to bend your elbows, keeping your shoulders rolled up and back. So try doing this, and step by step, gradually, you will come to a nice, strong Chaturanga. But don't try to do it straight. So it is an advanced pose. So slowly, 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 we will get there. So I hope these tips were useful, and thank you for watching. Thank you for practicing with me.